just to go ahead and get the ball rolling, if you could please tell me what your name is and tell me what your job title is.
Lisa Burns. I am the instructional lead strategist at my school, so an instructional coach.
And your school is middle school. So I know that's something that we'll be talking about in this interview is how kind of technology looks a little bit different for a middle school because all of my experience is in elementary school.
Right.
Awesome. All right. So my next question is, what are your typical like day-to-day job responsibilities? If you could just kind of focus in maybe on some of the technology things that you might work with different teachers.
Yeah. Definitely incorporating technology in their lessons and in their classrooms. I work with PLCs and we do individual training for each subject area. So for our science and social studies, we use Discovery Education, their tech book. So there's lessons in there, there's videos in there, there's also different strategies that they can use for summarization or for, hooks on lessons. Um, Also with like math and ELA, we have a defined learning platform that's really problem-based learning. So it sets up a problem and everything's kind of already in there and set up. So the teachers can find a standard that one of those lessons align to and, use that as a problem-based learning task to kind of finish a unit or to start a unit to get some interest because there's usually a phenomena that's presented. With technology, I also we do the Beacon, DRC Beacon. It is a formative to the Georgia Milestones Summative. So I create all those test tickets for the teachers, do all the registrations with them, and we give that for ELA and math 2 times a year. But since I'm dealing with 3 grade levels, it's 6 weeks in the fall that I'm dealing with that, and then 6 weeks in the winter/spring that I'm dealing with that.
Okay.
Um, and then I, help teachers just troubleshoot their any issues that they might be having. So we use Canvas as our learning management system. So I help them with that. I help our registrar sometimes, like we're getting ready for FTE, so making sure that everyone's labeled correctly in Aspen. That's our kind of student database system. That
Pretty
good?
much sums it up. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that was a lot of different things for sure. I know I've kind
Good.
of used Discovery Ed a little bit, and of course I've used DRC for like milestone training, but probably not to the extent that you guys use it in middle school.
Yeah, that DRC Beacon formative data has really kind of helped us to prepare for the milestones and see areas of weakness and areas that the kids are kind of already okay on that maybe we don't need to review or remediate as much closer to
Mhm.
the milestones.
That's awesome. I should look into that for sure because I know like with third, fourth, and fifth, the question is always like, why don't our scores match? And it's like, I feel like we don't do enough like test prep, like really preparing them for wordy test questions. So
Yeah.
that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, DRC is available 3 through 5, and I think they're starting something either this year or next year with K through 2 to go
Okay.
ahead and kind of um, get students prepared for those types of questions.
Great. So going kind of off of what you've had with experience with technology, have you ever had the opportunity to like impact the implementation of one of those particular technology pieces?
Um, Actually, the Discovery Ed Tech book, my
Mhm.
first year in this position, this is my 4th year. So right when we were coming back from COVID, um, new to this position, I had a really large budget. And, our social studies and our science department, they don't have any new textbooks. So
Mhm.
when I was playing around with Discovery Ed, I saw the tech book on there and I was like, let's just see if, our teachers are interested in it. I've got this huge budget and
Mhm.
that would be something great for them. So I looked at purchasing it for our school. And by the time I got kind of all the information and everything together. It was about mid end of November. And
Mhm.
the district was looking at purchasing it as well.
Okay.
So it ended up that the district told me to pause on purchasing it because they ended up just purchasing it for the whole district. I guess they were kind of talking about the tech book too. So that was
Mhm.
something that I kind of rolled out for our science and social studies departments. Um, the DRC, I didn't create it, but I definitely rolled that out with our teachers. 7th grade ELA piloted it the first year, and
Mhm.
then the last 2 years we've used it for math and ELA for all grade levels.
Okay.
And then I know I've done something else. I was trying to think. Definitely, I do like monthly professional development. So
Mhm.
anytime there's, technology updates or things that we're rolling out, we're using Mastery Connect right now, which is a new testing software that has like a question bank and stuff. So
Mhm.
I haven't done the training to roll that out, but I've brought district people in to train my teachers and, roll that out.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, that's a couple of things you talked about were actually some of my other questions too, kind of like talking about your budget. So you've definitely like considered or maybe used your budget before for technology purposes. I know it's a huge instructional piece, is having technology in the
Yes.
classroom, which I interviewed someone from my district who is a technology specialist. And interestingly enough, they didn't even have a budget. So they do a little
Wow.
bit more of just that, doing model lessons with students and doing professional development. So that's really awesome that you have a budget to, choose how to service your school.
Yes. Yeah.
So the next question that I had was, do you or does your school have a technology committee at your school?
We do not have necessarily a technology committee. We have a
Hmm.
technology AP and we have a technology specialist that we share, I think, with the elementary school and high school.
Hmm.
He's here, I think, 3 days a week. We're not one-to-one. We used to be one-to-one and they took that
Hmm.
away, but they are rolling out one-to-one again with Chromebooks this year. We just don't know when we're
Okay.
going to get them.
Okay.
Um, and then
Okay. That's a fun little thing for the recording.
right, yeah,
At least it didn't fall all the way off though.
seriously.
Um, as far as like the hierarchy in your district, I'm sure it's pretty similar to Cobb County, but I'm kind of going off of that. How does the hierarchy of technology work as far as you know?
So we have our chief executive officer over technology, and
Hmm.
then there is a director below him. And then that director has, and I think I might even have a flow chart I can send you. That
Okay.
director has like 8 to 10, we call them ITSs. So instructional technology specialist, I guess.
Hmm.
And we share them with a high school and a couple elementary schools. And those ITSs get information from the director and they come and do PD once a month in our schools. So updating, things from the past, maybe Nearpod has some new instructional pieces or
Hmm.
Canvas and they also do new stuff. So we have like Go Guardian right now where teachers can monitor what students are doing on their laptops in their classes.
Oh,
So
wow.
they can restrict websites. They
Mhm.
can make a little comment, say that kids are working on essays. They can be like, make a little comment on something, or somebody maybe has drifted off to something that is not what they should be doing. They
Right.
can close out windows or say, hey, let's get back on task and not, disturb the whole classroom. So that's
And
something new
you
that we rolled out last
you
year.
said that's called Go Guardian?
Go Guardian, yes.
Okay. I'll have to look into that because that's definitely my school is 1-to-1 right now. And I think anytime you have, absolutely every student using a laptop in the classroom, it's hard to manage that, even if they do know what they're supposed to be doing.
Right.
So yeah, I think, not disrupting the classroom, that's an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing tool to
And you
have.
can kind of like pause it and give some instructions and
Mhm.
all that stuff. So
All right. And I do realize I say awesome way too much. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I
I
didn't
just
even
have
notice.
2 more questions and I'll let you go because I know it is time for you to be heading home. My second to last question is, what do you find to be the most challenging part of your job?
Um, I guess when you roll out anything new, the teachers are like, one more thing, one more thing.
Right.
So, what I've done and what my principal and my assistant principal has kind of coached me up to do is, this isn't one more thing. It's just a little tweak in your what you're already doing in the classroom. So, adding GoGuardian, it is one more thing, but it's helping you in the classroom. So seeing the advantages of anything that we're rolling out that's something new and making sure that it's something that the teachers can see as manageable and bearable for them
Mhm.
and not something overwhelming that's one more thing that's going to go away in a couple of years. So I don't need to do this, or, I don't need to implement this. So
Right.
trying to see that advantage. So that would be my toughest hurdle, I guess, in my job.
Okay, that makes sense. I feel like, anyone who does professional developments with teachers probably feels the same way because I know sometimes they're like, no, 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 I do what I do in the classroom and
Right.
that's it. Okay, so my last question is, what do you feel is the current most beneficial piece of instructional technology for your school?
I mean, it's gonna have to be Canvas because,
Okay.
that's our learning management system. Kids take quizzes in there, they do discussions in there, they can submit assignments in there. There's plenty of external tools where you can embed Nearpods, you can embed YouTubes. There's so many different things that you can do with Canvas. That's like our heartbeat.
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's kind of a good way to kind of encompass everything.
Right, right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And